Welcome to Ones to Watch, episode 23. I'm Reece and Racepal. This, of course, is sponsored by Sportsbetting.com.au. Guys, it's the $1 Million Hunter Special. We're going to go through speed maps. We're going to go through the tempo. We're going to give you the overlays. We're going to focus on one runner in particular that you're going to want to keep a very close eye on. It's none other than the Godolphin runner, Savatiano. Let's just launch straight into it. All right, guys, as we always do, let's get into the tempo and the race shape and what runners may be advantaged by the way that the first 300 metres of this race are going to play out. There's one runner in particular who's drawn out wide, Savatiano, that I really want to do a deep dive into with her chances here, as we believe that the market has completely overreacted to her barrier draw, and we want to draw a comparison between the Hunter on Saturday and her performance in the Group 2 Tristarc at Caulfield, and how Newcastle over the 1300 metres and Caulfield over the 1400 metres have some similarities. All right, the most interesting thing about the Hunter is the barrier draw. Without a doubt, Le Romain, Home of the Brave, and Savatiano have all drawn out, which means they're all get forward types and they're all going to have to push forward and inject some early pace into the race. Probably the runner that's most advantaged by this will be a horse that loves to sit midfield like Graf, Manicure, Renewal, Fiesta. All right, looking at the back, guys, Home of the Brave pings across from the wide draw, and Savatiano, the stablemate, will go across with Home of the Brave. Le Romain will look to punch forward also from the wide draw and look to grab the 2B lane. From the 7 draw, Sir Plush will also punch forward and probably get the box seat in the race. Manicure looks to be a little bit stranded from the 16 draw. She'll probably have to sit in midfield somewhere there. Graf will absolutely look to take a sit and grab that 3B lane, hopefully with a fair amount of room for him to wind up in the straight. Bonamy, Renewal and Fiesta look to get a really cushy time in transit. Then the back markers, Redouble, Tactical Advantage, Invincible Gem, Jonker and Brave Song will be towards the back of the field. We are very bullish on Savatiano, as you'll see in our ratings shortly in our assessed prices. Look, it is a high variance play, and it does mean that you need to slightly mark the horse down. If you look at Savatiano's gate matters and the way she was able to ping the lids from the wide draw in the Group 2 Tristarc on the 19th of October at Caulfield, there's a lot of similarities between that particular race and this race, the Hunter on Saturday, that we can kind of draw close comparison with. The tracks, Caulfield and Newcastle, the 1300 and the 1400, are very, very similar. They have about 150 metres, 200 metres before they start the bend. So the similarities between Caulfield and Newcastle, Caulfield over the 1400 metres, Newcastle over the 1300 metres, as you'll see, is that there's a very short distance to the first bend. Now, Savatiano's gate manners are going to have to be absolutely on point here. The good news is that she's got a bunny inside of her in Home of the Brave that's going to be able to drag her across and grab that 1B lane that she's very familiar with racing in. Obviously, in the Group 2 Tristarc, she was absolutely magic, basically being on the pace the entire way of the race and showing a really nice turn of foot over that 1400 metres. All right, so we don't believe that the wide barrier draw is going to be too much of an issue for a horse like Savatiano, given the speed inside of it that's going to cart her across into the race. And really, other than Savatiano and Home of the Brave, the race is devoid of any natural leader. All right, we'll quickly look at our market in market order. As you can see, the overlays are highlighted in green as always. Le Romain, Tactical Advantage, Savatiano and Renewal are absolutely our overlays in the race, and probably the one that sticks out like a sore thumb to you guys is Graf. Look, we've rated Graf $8.60. The market currently finds him at $3.70, so way too short for us. Absolutely no value exists. He's still in our top 3, it has to be said. However, for us, we just don't feel like Graf can run the numbers required to be winning an event like this, certainly not in the high probability range. Obviously, if he gets the rub of the green on the day, we still rate him 12% to be winning. However, for us, Graf's preparation has been disrupted. His grand final absolutely was the Everest, and he really didn't run the numbers required or to justify a slot in the Everest, hence why he didn't get a slot. He's then been back up to Newcastle at Beaumont with Chris Lees. He's had to trial again to keep his fitness up, and he comes into the Hunter almost as an afterthought up to the 1300 metres, and we just don't feel like his numbers stack up, to be honest with you, which is why we've penalised him quite heavily. We've given him the $8.60, which means, it's significant unders for a horse like Graf. Le Romain's another really interesting runner, and there's a marginal overlay. We've rated about the $8 mark. The market currently finds Le Romain about $8.50. The big issue with Le Romain is that he hasn't run a peak since August last year. The barrier draw, no real issue, as we just saw. He's going to be able to ping across quite easily. obviously, and take up a position on the pace, stalking in behind Savatiano and home of the Brave. The other problem with Le Romain is you probably just want the sting out. It's definitely going to be a good 4, erring on the side of a good 3 there at Newcastle on Saturday. So it does present a real issue for Le Romain. It's not going to be optimal conditions for him. Barrier draw, no issue. However, hasn't run the peak required in over 12 months. So it is going to be a tough ask to say Le Romain is a high probability chance to be winning the race on Saturday. However, he still makes up our top 4. That's how wide open this race really is. Look, and the mare we really want to talk about is Savatiano. She's absolutely back to her optimal distance here, back to that 1300 metre, 1400 metre range where she really excels. She'll be back on top of the ground. Obviously, she failed last start in the Empire Rose on Derby Day, where she was wide the entire trip, 3 wide, no cover, the breeze. It was a really tough watch if you back Savatiano. Savatiano for us, guys, J-Mac on. The only real knock you can say is that the wide barrier draw, and we've just said, look, it is a high variance play and a lot can go wrong from out there, but it's also a high probability that she's just going to be able to ping and get across, or a higher probability. So for us, guys, she's absolutely the horse to beat. The overs are excellent. You know, we rate Savatiano, the $4.83. The market currently finds her at $9.50 with a tab, which is a 2.5 unit bet. So it's certainly a nice, healthy bet on Savatiano in the Hunter on Saturday for us. All right, guys, so you've had our speed maps, you've had our race shape and tempo and how we see the race is going to be played. And you've also know what we think about one of the biggest overlays we've ever seen on Ones to Watch, and that's Savatiano in the Hunter. Guys, if you are interested in more analysis like this and getting more of our ratings and bets on the day, make sure you sign up to Racepal Global, our SMS service. The Racepal Club is not accepting any new members until January 2020. However, Racepal Global is still absolutely available to subscribe to, and it's a worthwhile service. It's up 97 units since July, and I know a lot of the subscribers are having a great deal of success with that analysis. All right, guys. All the very best on Saturday. I'm Reece from Racepal. This is sponsored by sportsbetting.com.au.